Alright, so I've been asked multiple times, how do I take care of my reptiles and insects, and what do I do, and so on. So, remember, I am not a professional. I just know this stuff from experience, so enjoy. Let's start off with superworms. Superworms. I usually keep them in little bins like this for the largest, mediums, and the small. I do put vent holes a little bit to help, where it doesn't get all moisture and stuff. Whatever they eat, your bearded dragons eat. So you want to keep them healthy. So I feed my superworms acorn squash and carrots and butternut squash. These right here, these are small ones. So you can see there's about 500 in here. I need to clean this. Usually I clean this about once every 3 weeks for the superworm bin. As you can see, they go ham. If I was a superworm and I was stuck in a bin, I would want more space. So instead I put egg crates in here, and yes, they chew through it, but it's alright. I mean, it doesn't hurt, Now, I do breed my superworms. How do you do that? Well, put your superworms... Oh, he escaped. Put your superworms in a tight area. What happens is they get stressed. I've been told not to feed them, but I put this in here anyways to make them a little bit more fatter. And you'll see why in a few minutes. Usually this takes about... I don't really keep track, but I'm just going to take a guess. 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I'm not really sure. I don't really keep track. This is when they pupae. This is when they get stressed out. They turn into little aliens like this. Since I fed this guy, you see how he's more buffer? This one is a little bit more skinnier. He's not as buff. As you can see, they will start looking like aliens. They will create eyes in this. I don't have any fresh ones. The fresh ones are usually like so bright yellow, whatever, I guess you can say. And that's how you know it's fresh. But this does take a lot longer than my mealworms, from what I have noticed. After the pupae stage, they turn into beetles. For the beetles, I give them this for water. I give all my insects this, actually. This is like $6 or $7. It's really cheap. I put it on the side. I do clean this once a week because it's just that bad. I feed them carrots. Well, for some reason, I've noticed between my mealworms and my superworm beetles, the superworms are not that much big fans of carrots as the mealworms are, but I still do anyways. I feed them yellow squash and acorn squash, and sometimes I'll feed these guys carrots. I don't see any eggs. I put cloths in here. Not cloths, little torn up shirts. So, for some reason, they like to lay eggs on it. See right there? That's an egg. That's an egg. Oh, this one just turned into a beetle yesterday. So that's why it's so light, but then it'll start getting dark. Now, your beetles do die later on. The longest, my first beetle, it lasts me for about a month and a half, and then it died. Like this one right here. This one's going to die soon. And this one will be my number 4th beetle. Like, I just started making these beetles. So, after they die, make sure you take it out. Okay. Now, well, this right here is mealworms, so we're not going to do that. Okay. Once in a while, after so many eggs, I take them out and I put them in here. And I just let it stay there until they hatch. I separate them for a reason, because I have noticed in the past, from what I experienced, is that the mealworm beetles and the superworm beetles, they do eat their eggs after a while. So that's why usually I check the bin once a week and I take it out. Then I'll put a new torn up shirt in. Yeah, these haven't hatched yet. After they hatch, they will turn into tiny little worms, like right there. That's a superworm, little baby superworm. And like I said, I do separate them. I put, after the eggs hatch, I do put them in here. Now, time for the mealworms. Mealworms. For on the other hand, with the mealworms, what I do is I feed them just carrots. And I check this thing daily to make sure there's no pupae. Because, like right here. Because I have, from what I experience, these little devils, they will actually eat it. Like, not right away, but usually after like a week or two. They'll start eating the pupae from what I have experienced. And I just don't got time for that, you know. But yeah, like I said, if I was bored, you know, I would be really bored. So I'd put egg crates in here too. Like, here's what I was talking about. Like, see how bright this one is? It's fresh. It just happened. Alright. Here are my, and the more they eat, the faster they will pupate. I forgot. These are superworms. These are mealworms. See the difference? Right, big difference. Not every single one makes it. Sadly, not every single one makes it. Okay, like this one, for instance. You see how it's still moving? It's not going to make it. Because, see that black thing right there? From what I experienced, when they have some different type of color, they're not going to make it later. They never really do make it later. So that's what really sucks. Alright. Oh my god. I used to have a lot of the beetles, but they die. You know, like, just like I said, they don't last that long. They die. But they haven't I don't think they have laid any eggs. Let's find out. No, I don't see any eggs. Yeah, I don't see any eggs. Anyways, this is why I hate giving them carrots. They like to put it everywhere. Like, it's annoying. Yeah, this guy, yeah, he's dead. Anyways, I give them carrots, acorn, acorn squash, or yellow squash, and I also give them water. Okay. Like I do the same thing with the superworms. Once the babies hatch, or when they have eggs, I put them in here. Like, there you go. There's a little baby that might be about 2 days old. Yeah, that's probably 2 days old because it's so white. I'm still waiting for the other eggs to hatch. They get pretty big, you know. Once they grow a little bit more, I put them in here. Let's see if I can find y'all one. Oh, there's one. See the baby. Oh yeah, after about a week or so or something, they start getting a little bit more darker and darker. You know, and they grow. Oh, there's another one. Remember, not all of them make it, which really sucks. But it happens. It's the way of life. I don't feed these guys carrots just yet because they're still a little bit too young. So instead, I just sprinkle this so they'll eat it. Alright. These are waxworms. I order most of my insects online. And if I really need to, you know, I'll go to Petco. But these are waxworms. I don't order that much anymore. As much as I used to because I don't really need them. But I do have them just in case. They don't last that long. For me, they last about like a month. You know, then they start getting dead. But basically, waxworms are just to fatten up. They're mostly just fat. So that's why I don't use them that much. But I did use them when I first got Lucy because she was very, very, very skinny and underweight. Time for the other insects. I don't do phoenix worms as much as I used to because it gets very annoying because they turn into freaking not beetles, but insects with wings, and it's very annoying. So I don't do These are hornworms. Okay, these are hornworms. They're mostly nothing but water, but I just do it for a treat. You know, this is like the first time I ever ordered hornworms too. There was 25 in here, but oh my god, this guy's big. But it's just mainly a treat, you know, it's nothing but water. Like, literally. Gosh, time for the crickets. I hate crickets. I really do. But they're cheap and it's easy. Remember, whatever you feed your insects, your bearded dragons do eat. That's in the insect. So, since my bearded dragons, I don't know why they don't like carrots. So instead, for the crickets, I put carrots in here. And I freaking hate crickets. I really do. They stink so bad. Let's see. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And, you know, they have this in here too. Little gels. Here somewhere. I don't know. I just hate crickets. It stinks. Okay. Before I get on to my last insects that I give my bearded dragons. The difference between dewberry roaches... Well, actually, no. The difference between all these insects. Dewberry roaches are the most healthiest, best you can give to your bearded dragons. 1, they don't bite. 2, they don't smell that bad. 3, they don't climb. They don't really fly. You know what I mean? It's more easier and it's more healthier than the crickets. It's basically the dewberry roaches, the crickets, the superworms, and so on and so on. Phoenix worms, they are very high in calcium where you don't have to dust it. But like I said, I love using Phoenix worms, but I don't use them as much anymore because I'm just tired of them turning into little flies, I guess you can call them. This is my medium slash small slash baby's bin for my dewberry roaches. I feed them carrots, squash, well, yellow squash and acorn squash. There's little gels. Why is there a little cricket in there? See that everywhere. They're everywhere. Okay. Please advise for some viewers. I do breed my dewberry roaches because dewberry roaches are very expensive. This is my brooder bin. They eat like crazy. But the faster they eat, the more they'll grow, from what I've noticed. I have little ones in here for a reason, and I have a superworm in there because it likes to eat their poop and stuff, so it kind of helps me clean a little bit. But, because I have some, you know, little medium ones in here because then they grow into that, and then they, you know, they get bigger. They're finally becoming an adult. Are they out of food already? Are you serious? I just put, like, fresh food in here yesterday. These guys eat like crazy. They eat more than my babies. Like, it's that crazy. But, oh yeah. Well, I feed them same thing as I feed these guys. But the more that the male does it with the female, the male usually dies later. As you can see, I don't think that guy's gonna make it.